All right, so today is January 13th, and this is our team meeting, and we have Jamie on the phones right now, and I am Ashley Tab, and we were just talking about the Super Saturday from last week in Georgetown that we attended. And it was a fabulous event. There were about 65 people there, and I've already received the April 2nd invitation, so I'll be sending that out so that you can put that on your calendar and save the date. It'll be in the same location at the middle school in Georgetown, and hopefully you all can invite your customers and the coaches that you get between now and then, and so we can make it an even bigger event. And if there's any way that you want to participate in it, if you want to help with registration, or if you want to be somebody that does a demonstration with a recipe, then let me know, and I'll send that on to Jean and Angela to get you on the agenda, because they would love our help with doing some more of that stuff. Or if you want to help make the shakes in the background and not be somebody that's out in the front, but to help to do the shakes, they, I'm sure, could use that help. Or if you want to make no-bake cookies or bars or something else to serve at the event. So that was the Super Saturday event. They happen every quarter, and they happen all over the United States. And we're hoping to get it big enough that some of the corporate individuals come. For instance, the Dream Team event that was in Pittsburgh that Melanie hosted. Of course, she's the top coach, #1 coach, and she's our mentor and coach of our Dream Team. Her event had Carl Deichler at it this past Saturday, which is the CEO of Beachbody, as well as Autumn Calabrese, which if you 21 Day Fix or Hammer and Chisel, you know that she is the trainer for those programs. And so it'd be really cool if we got our event big enough that somebody from corporate came as a guest to our event. So far this month, I just want to congratulate Holly. She so far has Success Club 2, and she's still at her Emerald status. And there are several people that are close to an Emerald status. And what that is just having 2 coaches, one on each of your legs. There's a right leg and a left leg to your business. And so if you have a coach on each side, then you rank advanced Emerald. And what that means is that the Beachbody will start to send you leads, which is really cool, because you'll wake up and you'll go into your back office and your reporting, and it'll say you have more customers and people that you can contact. And those are people that have just gone out to Team Beachbody and created an account without having a coach. And so they assign you as their coach, and you get to contact them and see if they'd be interested in a challenge pack and joining our groups. If you hit Success Club 10, which I did last month, and I had done several other months, but then it kind of stopped, and now I've gotten it back up. And I forgot what happened with Success Club 10, but with it, you get even more leads, and people that go in from like infomercials, or just they find Beachbody and they just go in without a coach and they purchase a challenge pack. Those people they assign to coaches that have Success Club 10 or higher. And not only do you get those customers, but you get the commission. And in certain instances, you get Success Club points for that month as well. So it's really cool when you hit Success Club 10, because they give you even more leads. Another thing the company does for new coaches is Success Starters. And so congratulations again to Jamie. She hit Success Starters in her first month. It's actually the month that you sign or the following month. And so Jamie hit Success Club Starters in December at Success Club 5 or higher. And so she actually gets a call with Carl Deichler, and it's a group call. I think he actually does it live, though. It's different every time. It's not something he just records and that they play over and over every month. He'll talk about the new year and what the features are, and I'm pretty sure he might be either at the office in California when he's doing it, getting ready to leave, or maybe even driving home. but it's at 8 o'clock at night, which is 5 o'clock in California, and it's about a 30-minute call. So, Jamie, I think that's tomorrow night, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, Ashley, I was on mute. Yes, it is. It's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So Jamie will be on that call, and so she'll get some extra encouragement and motivation from Carl, and I'll be on that as well. And so if she hits Success Club 5, which to get Success Club points, if you sell, somebody purchases Shakeology Home Direct, then you get 1 Success Club point. If they purchase a challenge pack, you get 2 Success Club points. And in the past few months, they've also had some other packages like a Boost combo pack that also gave you a 1 point of Success Club. But more people typically start with the Shakeology and then add the Boost versus adding the Boost and then Shakeology. So typically we start with saying the Shakeology and the challenge packs. So basically what that means is if you have 3 people that purchase a challenge pack, 3 times 2 is 6. And so then you would hit that, be over that Success Club. 5, that's the requirement. And if Jamie does that for the next 2 months, then she will receive a free ticket to Summit, which is Beachbody's annual conference. It's a great leadership conference. It's going to be at the end of July in Nashville, Tennessee. And I've already got a room reserved, and we're going to have a great girls weekend. We're going to get in the car, and myself and Sherry already have our tickets. And so we're excited. We want Jamie to come along with us, and we're looking for 1 other person to come with us at least, if not several more. So we want to pack our car and maybe take an extra car and find another room for some other people because it's going to be a really fun weekend. Last year, Melanie had her own training for the team the day before the actual conference started. And she had several of her elite leaders that we hear on some of her calls and so forth. But it was great to see them in person doing a training. And then she had a reception afterwards. And so we got to meet a bunch of people there. And then they changed the name of it. It was LP Field. I think it's now called the Nissan Field that the Titans play on. That is where the opening and the closing ceremonies are. And it's a big production. They have a huge stage. They fill half of the stadium and the field of the stadium. And so we're there 2 different nights for entertainment, and they're going over recognition and so forth. And then during the day, they have leadership conferences and trainings in the arena and in the conference center. And then one morning, we also do a workout on the street. They block off Broadway. So it's just a fun-packed weekend. There's not a whole lot of sleep, I'll be honest. You come home kind of tired, but energized and excited and motivated. And so it's really fun, and we'd love for you all to be on that trip with us. There is a wait list. If you've been a coach for a while and that Success Starter isn't an option, you can still get on the wait list and see if you can get a ticket that way. The other thing that's coming up is the Success Club trip registration for 2017. And that is going to be on Tuesday morning, and that is for Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic. And with it, they're doing something a little different this year. They have 2 different trips. So one is during the week, and one flows more into the weekend. And Melanie is saying that she is planning, looking through my notes from this morning, she is planning to go on the trip that occurs more during the middle of the week, which is the Teal trip. But honestly, I think I'm probably going to go sign up for the Coral part of the trip, which covers more of a weekend, because then I'll take less time off of work, and I think it'll be easier for me to get babysitters that way. But you do whatever is best with you. So if you go with the Teal week, you'll go and probably see Melanie and a bunch of other coaches. If you go the Coral week, you'll see me and a bunch of other coaches. But to get that, you will need to register. Tuesday is when registration opens up for the general coaches, which is all of us, and it opens at noon. So Melanie suggested this morning going in onto the website and completing the registration form and being ready to hit submit right at noon. So my plan is to go in at 11:30, complete it, have it sitting there on my screen, and then at noon hitting submit. You do have to do a $300 deposit, but you earn trip dollars throughout to pay for the room. This year's trip was a cruise, and I actually earned the entire cruise and $600 for the cruise. I was on the wait list. Luckily, I got offered to be on the cruise, but unfortunately, my daughter's dance competition is the same day that the boats sail, so I will not be on the cruise. But my point is, it is very achievable, whether you're a new, even if you're a new coach. So if it's something that you think that you might even possibly consider, I would highly, then just say you're going. Because again, I mean, if you're working towards getting to Nashville and you're working towards that free ticket, you're going to be working towards the trip at the same time, and you're just double dipping. Actually, you're triple dipping because you're also getting commission. So with the Success Club trip, you get $5 for every Success Club point, but then it's doubling for January. And so another incentive for going big and going strong in January. Let's see. Other announcements. I know I've got a lot today. The sneak peek is on Monday. Melanie is hosting a sneak peek. It is Monday, January 18th, and she is doing a live event like she did last month. I know several of you were on it. So that first hour, she's going to do the Facebook group, and then the second hour, she's going to do the call, something similar like what we're on right now. And she'll talk about how she got to be where she is, how she started with Insanity, and how she grew to be the #1 coach 2 years in a row. And people will be able to ask questions, and she will be on there live just like I am right now. So that's something that you can be inviting people to right now. If you know people that you think would make a great coach, or that people that we have in the challenge group right now that might be interested in even being a discount coach. And she talks about what being a discount coach is versus being a part-time coach versus being a full-time coach. So if they're like, well, I just don't know what that means, and they want to hear more about it, then that's what you want to invite them to. And if you can invite 2 people a day, or if you just invite 25 people to it, then that would be a great goal. The other thing to invite people to, I am hosting a recipe swap live event in my house next Friday night. One of the things that I struggle with is new recipes, and I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. They have their same recipes that they use over and over. So I thought it might be a great idea to invite people to bring their recipe, maybe even bring something that people can try, and then send me the actual recipe that I can post into a group. And that way people don't have to keep up with a recipe card when they're at my house. Or if they can't make it to the event, I thought maybe we could have a free recipe swap group the week after, which would be the last week in January. So we can invite people to the event, and people that can't come to the event, we can ask them if they want to be in the group. And that group will not only be a recipe swap, but I'll also talk about Shakeology and meal planning, since they're bringing recipes, how those can be incorporated into a meal plan. And then in February, I am still looking at the calendar. I was going to have a group start on January 18th. And I can still do that. If you're inviting people and you have people that want to start, we can start one on January 18th. But if that doesn't happen, I'm looking at regrouping and having a different start date. So I'll let you know when I get that confirmed, but let me know if you have somebody that decides they want to start on January 18th. I have a few people that might, so that may be a start date for a group. Don't let loose on that. Go ahead and invite people. But if we end up not having anybody, that's okay. We'll just go with the free group, and then regroup. Lots of group there. All right. Currently, the challenge group, you may not know it, but I have it separated into two different groups. One's called the New Year, New You, and one's called the Best Year Yet. And I did that just because I had so many people. I think I have 25 people in one of the groups and 25 or 30 people in the other group, just built up from one group to the next over the past year of people that want to be in groups. And I didn't want the group to be too big because I've gotten the complaint before that there's just too many people in it and people wanted it to feel smaller and more personable. So I split it into two groups, and I split the coaches into two groups so that Sherry's going to be helping in one group to post and Ashley's helping in the other group to post. And then if everybody can just help with responding to people's questions and commenting when people say that they've done their workout, and then posting their rating and their follow-up or feedback or anything else that you find, just getting engagement into those groups, that would be fabulous. The other coach groups that are open right now that some of you are in, there's a new Coach Basics group that Melanie runs every month. And she changed it up a little bit this year, or for 2016. And so it now is a group in Facebook, but it's also an email. It's not a group in Facebook. It's a group in something that starts with a V. And then it's an email. So it's a little bit different because it's not that online Facebook group. But I'm actually seeing the emails a little bit better than I would do with the notifications, because I have so many notifications going off right now that I think I would get lost in that. And so that new Coach Basics just gives you an overview of what to do as a coach. And then she has the Push to Diamond group, which I'm also in, and Holly is in. And that group just takes it to the next level and talks again about the basics like the new coach group, but adds in a little bit more, because typically in the Push to Diamond, you have 4 people under you and you're an emerald. And so you're talking more about being a leader versus just inviting people to challenge groups. All right, so now I wanted to talk a little bit about your niche, defining your niche and who you are and who you should invite to your group. So one of the vital behaviors of Beachbody is inviting, and our goal is to invite 3 to 5 people a day and to request 3 new friends a day, like on Facebook, and start 3 new conversations. So really, logically, the first day you might just request 3 new friends. Then the next day you might start conversations with those friends that accepted those requests. And then after you have a talking conversation going on, and when you get to a point that it's comfortable, then you would invite them to the challenge group or invite them to our event on Friday. And then you're following up with people. And I have a little sheet that I've been using this week. Melanie sent it to us, and I have actually adjusted it and finally found a system that I like. So I will post that into the group. But it also, I added in challenger check-in so that I can remember who I've talked to. I try to check in with the challengers at least once a week. Again, with having so many challengers now, that means that I have to contact like 6 or 7 of them a day in order to even get them each a week. And then posting in the groups. And one thing that I do is I try to go into Facebook and say happy birthday to everybody, that it's their birthday, so that then they start seeing what I'm posting on Facebook. One other thing that I did when I first started with inviting was, who do I want to invite? Well, I went into my Facebook list and I looked at those people that are at the top. And then I realized I just kept going back to those people, even though I had a pretty decent amount of people of friends in my Facebook. And so you can actually pull a list into Excel and then work through that list. And that's what I do now. And you can do the same thing I realized today in LinkedIn. And I have different people in LinkedIn than I do in Facebook. So now I'm going to switch over to my LinkedIn list and start going through it. Even though I haven't completely gone through my Facebook and I'm going back to my Facebook, then I'll have both lists to kind of work off of. And I'm continuing to add new friends in Facebook and new friends on LinkedIn. So I'll continually have new people to invite. All right. So that's like kind of who to invite. So, but the other thing is just knowing who you even want to be friends with. And it's not much different than if you go to a party and you're in a room and you just kind of gravitate to certain people. The same thing kind of happens on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and no matter where you go, you just kind of gravitate to people that are like you. And that's just kind of what happens. But things that you need to think about before we even get to that point is, why is it so important? Who do you want on your team? What kind of culture do you want on your team? You can look at the dream team and Melanie's team and see that it kind of has one type of culture. And then if you look at another top 10 coach, you can see that they're completely different. Their personalities are completely different, which means their systems are probably completely different. So, you know, Melanie is very systematic. She likes to plan everything. She says she's a hot mess, but the girl's got everything all lined up. And, you know, she's not a free spirit. She doesn't really just kind of go with the flow like the number 2 coach. Amy Silverman is her name. And so if you were to go into Facebook and pull her up and look at her, you'll see she's the complete opposite of Melanie. And they're the number 1 and number 2 coaches. And they do things completely different. Melanie was, I don't know Amy as well as she does, and she was talking a little bit more about her today, and she was talking about how, you know, she cusses on Facebook left and right, and she does in person. This is Amy, and she has tattoos, and she travels a lot, and so she talks about that a lot on Facebook, and they're, again, just completely different people. And that's the cool thing, is that there are so many different niches out there, and there are so many people in the world that you need to just focus on who you are, and go with it and not try to be somebody else. And really think about why you are doing this, why you're working so hard, and what your goals are. So, you know, who are you? What is your voice? You know, you might ask somebody else what they think, ask somebody else that you already know in Beachbody, ask somebody outside of Beachbody what they think that you're good at. You'll find a lot of different answers. Another thing, I was looking at, again, LinkedIn today, and, you know, people can recommend you or say that you're good at stuff. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you know, are they saying you're a good leader? Are they saying you're a good event planner? Or you're a good writer? So what do people say you're good at? That's what makes you different and unique. People get really afraid, and I do myself, about narrowing their niche, that they might leave people out. And I do this all the time. I start to write a post, and I'll think in my head, okay, I'm going to write this to working moms. And I'm like, but if I say working moms, I'm going to leave stay-at-home moms out. And if I say moms, I'm going to leave the dads out. And, you know, sometimes I'll think busy working moms. Well, what about the people that aren't as busy? But really, it's better to funnel it down as far as you can. And really, that busy working mom is really the person I should go after, because that's who I am. And those are the people that it's easiest for me to talk to and to relate to, and they relate to me. You know, if I were to say, who am I wanting to speak to? I made a list today when Melanie was going through this, and I wrote down dance mom, swim mom, mom of 2 girls. I'm an online learner. I got my MBA in marketing, all online. I'm a lifetime learner. I like to continually learn. I have tons of friends. I love to socialize. I love event planning and planning to have people over for events. I enjoy shopping, working out. I'd rather be at the beach than at a ski resort. I am a planner. I like routines. I like systems. I love sports. I love basketball. I stay up for football longer than my husband does. And I'm a full-time working mom. So that is who I am. And some of those things might be who you are because, again, I've attracted you. And so you may have some similarities, but you'll probably have a lot of differences too. So make a list of who you are and think about who it is that you attract. And think about then too, like I said earlier, your biggest struggle. So like I said, one of my struggles is coming up with different things to add to my meal plan. And so that is kind of where I'm going to focus on my strategies for the next month and where our team's going to focus. But when you get ready to branch out and have your own, you can choose what you struggle at and what you want to focus on. And you can do that now and just kind of incorporate. I'm kind of doing the same thing with Melanie. I kind of incorporate what she's doing as her theme for the month, but then make it my own too. Some other things that people struggle with: time management, organization, being all in, committing to something, finding me time, finding girl time. Again, this is just the list that I wrote down today. So, what do you want? Everybody wants something different. Do you want to work Beachbody full-time? Do you just want to continue to work Beachbody part-time? Do you just want the discount? Do you want to be able to pick your own hours? Do you want to have more freedom so that you can do more things at your kids' school? Do you want more money for vacations? Again, going back to your why and what it is you want and remembering those things as you go throughout the month and as you're posting, to really hone in on who it is you're trying to attract. Again, don't compare yourself to others. Everybody is different, and what makes us each special is that we each have our own uniqueness. And we can all provide something different, whether we provide positivity or systems. We each provide something different, and we need to figure it out and really dig deep to think about what those things are. For example, Katie Ursta, she is also known as One Fit Fighter. And she posted recently about how she offers small new coach classes and gives direct support. So she only wants to find 2 to 3 new coaches, and she posts about that, and she posts those numbers saying, I'm only going to have 2 or 3 new coaches on my team this month because I want to offer you direct support. I'm only going to offer 2 to 3 people in my challenge groups. I'm not going to have 20. She's not going to have 25 people in her challenge group. She's really going to only do 2 to 3 people because she wants to provide those direct support. So everybody, again, does it different based on their own personality and what they can provide and how they want to provide it. What I want to do, I want to provide these weekly small group calls, but then also let people know that they have the opportunity for that large group support through the Dream Team. We have Melanie's systems and her leadership to offer for people that want to be on our team. I have organization, I'm committed, I'm loyal, and so that's what I feel like makes me unique. So it's important to really just sit down and write out these things that I've talked about, what makes you unique, who you are, what you want, And then that will help you to think about the different posts that you want to create, and the different, if you decide to create a blog, even blog posts. One of my struggles right now is posting. I find I can post about random stuff left and right, and that's great because you want to do that too. But when I really try to hone in on posting about inviting to coach or even inviting to a group, I have so much that I want to say. And I see a lot of people with those long posts, and even Melanie has some of those longer posts, but personally I'm not attracted as much to those long posts. I like the shorter posts. If I'm going to want to read something long, I want to go to a blog. So that's really what I've been doing. If I end up writing something long, I will stick it over on my blog, and then I will pull out the meat of it and post that as my post with the link to the blog to read more, and to sign up for the group and or find out more about coaching. And again, everybody's different. So, and that's okay. That's me. That's what I like to do. So as you start really posting on Facebook or Instagram, or even Pinterest has a bunch of different ways that you can pin post and comment on those. Just talk about who you are and show people who you are. Don't hide yourself, and just let people know what you're doing and share your story. And that's really going to just attract people to you, and they're going to ask more questions and ask about the challenge groups, and that's going to help you lead you to Success Club, which is going to lead you to the different trips and the different recognition that I talked about earlier. And so that is all that I have. And now that I feel like I have rambled completely to myself, Jamie, you can let me know if I have put your son to sleep or put you to sleep.
No, we're still here.
Do you have any questions?
No, I think you covered everything. Thank you. No, everything sounded great, huh?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I will post these. I actually have two different little sheets that I'm tracking my stuff on. And I go back and forth about if I'm a paper and pen person versus electronic, and I'm actually kind of using both right now. I find it easier to write it down quickly, but then to really go back, and I like to pull reports and see how long it's been since I talked to somebody. And so Google Mail has Streak, and I think I told you this the other day, Jamie. And it has just been really neat. It is a free service if you have Gmail. It's just an add-on to it. I think you do have to be in Chrome to add it on. And you can add these pipelines. You can add different ones. I have one for leads and one for people that I've got challenge packs. And then I've got, like I called it, January groups. And so I've got everybody that's in the group on there. And then you can make different subtitles, and then you can move people as you talk to them, and you can see where you are with them. So whether if I invited them, if I followed up with them, if I messaged them during week 1, week 2, week 3, and then asked for their results. So I can move them through those different stages, and it's a reminder to me of who I haven't contacted to reach out to. And so I'll probably end up doing a training on that at some point. But it's a really cool program, and I'll post about it as well. And then I'll give you all these reminders on all the announcements. You'll see all of those on the group. But really the most important thing is to go back to those 3 vital behaviors that Beachbody talks about every day. And that is just inviting people through personal messages or seeing them face to face. Being a product of the product while working out and posting about it, and doing personal development, and just staying positive. So, Jamie, I appreciate you listening to me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's not a problem. So thank you for all the information. It was great.
Awesome. Well, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to try. I want to do these weekly just because there's always so much information. But I know there ends up being a lot of other calls too, so I don't want to overwhelm people either. But like I said, I'll record them, and then if people can't be here live, then they'll be able to come back to them and watch them when it works for them. And that's how most calls are, except I don't think Carl's call is like that tomorrow night. I think you do have to be on it at 8 o'clock or it gets like deleted. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, one thing that I found, too, is that I found when I was commuting, to and from work, is when I listened to that one call from Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah. That's when I
So that was helpful.
All my personal development books, I just use Audible. And so, like right now, I'm listening to Bounce Back by John Calipari. And I listen, like when I drop Caroline off, from the time I drop Caroline off to the time I get to my office, it takes me like 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, which isn't a lot of time. But if I listen after I drop her off and then when I go to pick her up, then that's like 25 minutes that I've listened. And I get pretty far into books when I do that every single day. The GoPro is a really, really good one. And the Compound Effect, but I don't think the Compound Effect is on Audible. I think I read it actual book. But I've listened to GoPro probably about 10 times, and it's a network marketing book.
Cool. I'll have to check it out. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks. You too, Ashley. Have a good night. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Bye.